Hi, it's Rich Tehrani here. Thanks for watching. We're in the TMC newsroom at the Cloud Expo. It's 2010 here in Jacob Javits Center in Manhattan. And on our program today is Dean Parker, who is with Callis. He's the president and CEO. Dean, how are you?
Great, Rich. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. It's the second time we've seen each other in 24 hours.
Gotta love it. Your new offices are phenomenal. You haven't had a chance to meet them, you gotta check out the new offices.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the plug. It was great to host you there. And today I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what you discussed with the team yesterday, which was the alliance that you guys have launched. Can you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, it started about 24 months ago. We came together. There was 8 companies, similar design, similar architecture, similar technology. And we came to the premise solution that many of us cover geographical and regional areas, but we needed to find a way that we could take this cloud infrastructure and really move it forward in a next generation way. So the way we did it is we talked about the company's technologies, the company's regions, the company's areas, and we divide those, bring those together. And so today we are launching the Cloud Communications Alliance, and this is 8 companies that have come together that are pushing next generation APIs and realizing hosted technologies are really a closed network where people deliver one-to-one services. But when you deal with the cloud, you're dealing with something that we have plugins. You can plug into Salesforce.com, you can plug into call recording. You now take traditional services, host them in a place where there's no premise equipment in your office anymore, and you get reliability. So you have many advantages when it comes to that, from disaster recovery to the ability to hook into many different applications like we spoke about.
So what are the customers saying?
We're finding the customers are very intrigued. They get very excited because for years there was always 2 options, right? You had AT&T or then you had a CLEC out there. Now they're intrigued by the fact that they no longer have to have the Ma Bell. They no longer have to have Avaya or the Cisco providing these one-to-one solutions for them. They now can bring a company that is nimble and innovative, but with this 8 companies, we make up $100 million in revenue, so they're not have the concern anymore of what if one company goes out of business anymore. There's a foundation and a network behind them that hasn't been available to them, so we provide that third option that's not been out there before.
And interoperability is obviously a big part of this.
It's huge. We're a standards-based company. We use the same switching technology that we put in our cloud. So if you go to any one of the 8 companies, the features are going to be the same, the products are going to be the same, the standards, which are key, are going to be the same. We measure ourselves based on quality, and that comes from 3 areas. 1 has got to be the reliability. 2 is it's got to be a simple solution. We've got to be able to provide that same thing replicated at every time you meet with one of our alliance members. And 3, and most importantly, is you got to provide deep shareholder relationships. What you find is relationships still drive business. No matter that we're a cloud company, the phone is still where people close deals. It's not always done just over the web.
So in terms of the benefits of moving more and more of a company's software into the cloud, what are companies able to now do when, let's say, 70 to 80 to 100% of the applications they need all live in the cloud? What are some of the benefits that they can't take advantage of today?
So if you look at the market as a whole, it's a $130 billion market in U.S. business communications. Of that market, 124 million is what I'll call traditional communications. It's long distance, it's local access circuits, it's equipment, it's premise space. 6 billion of that is now in the cloud. What this is going to allow us to do is, what is every small to medium-sized business, which makes up 80% of businesses in the U.S. today, they all struggle with, they can buy a service, but they can never integrate it to make them more efficient. They can never automate it. What we're doing is we're taking those feature-rich applications that they couldn't afford that integrator before, and we're bringing that together in a very cost-efficient manner that allows the SMB business to hook in and get those competitive landscape differentiators for their business that they couldn't afford before.
And how do they do that? How do they build these competitive differentiators?
They come to one of our partners, so it's 8 alliance members today, and we'll be looking for more. And they meet with them, and they tell them about what their needs are. So let's take a call center, for example. A big call center, maybe at GE or IBM, they've always had everything they've needed. They've had the ability to buy call recording. They've had the wonderful dashboards up on the wall. They've had reportings. The small guys typically had something that had a very low-end, we'll call ACD, distribution queue, so they could get calls in, but they never knew how the people were doing. So when they come to us, they tell us what they need. We use the web to be a low-cost differentiator that allows us to plug in and make these changes. So now they get all the features of ACD, call reporting, the ability to record calls and have it go into their web-based application. They could use Microsoft CRM, and we can push the call after it's been made into their CRM, push their fax into their CRM. So they now have this integration. What does that do for them? They become more competitive. They can win deals that they couldn't get before because they're always limited because they couldn't have those competitive advantages that they really needed to be successful.
So, and they now don't need to spend the money on the equipment. They don't need the data center. They don't need the hardware. They don't. I mean, really, what they need is bandwidth. At the end of the day, right?
And they buy it a la carte. So buy the features that you need, pay just a small monthly fee for them, rather than having to make capital expenditure, an engineering team and a support team, and then constantly pay software upgrades to keep it in current revision.
So this is, I mean, kind of like a Cloud 2.0, if we can coin that term here, because it's really similar to the concept of the Web 2.0, where you have open APIs allowing different websites to leverage data from other websites and display it in different ways and to use it in different ways. But this is kind of where we're going now, where we have a suite of hosted services that interoperate more effectively, right?
That's correct. And one of the things that we're launching as part of this launch today is what we call our Sandbox. What is our Sandbox? Our Sandbox is where we're bringing the premise-based providers that we use and other people use, such as BroadSoft. We put them into our cloud with then applications providers, and we now have the App Store in business. So you will now go out there, search for what you want, be hooked up with one of our customers or our partners that have already done one of these projects, and then be able to connect with them to get what you need. So,
wow.
So now you have a grassroots effect that the Sandbox everybody's playing in can get all the tools that they need that they would have been limited by having to go through the vendor and pay for an integration project and everything. Now they can deal directly with a developer and plug into our network.
Now, how many more vendors are you looking for, or is it just unlimited? As many companies want to work with you, you can...
So that's a very good question. We have a couple things that divide what an alliance member. Number one, what areas do they cover? Number two, what standards are they willing to stand up to? We believe that the network reliability, customer satisfaction is very important to us. It's a differentiator in our area. And so the companies that would have to apply would have to come through that same process to get that done. Number two and number three, you're kind of really looking at, they're going to have to come to the table and bring value, right? We don't want to just sign up every person and every company that can. We want to bring people that have value, because when you say powered by the Cloud Communication Alliance, it's going to mean something, and that's absolutely how we're going to make sure we compete at a high level against all the competitors out there. Because the next decision will be, as we gain traction, the big guys and the premise guys are going to have to try to find rocks that they throw. They typically say they're small,
right,
they're not reliable, it's not quality.
Sure.
We're going to make sure that we cover all those bases ahead of time.
Now I'm getting this signal that we've got to wrap, but 30 seconds. Can you tell me about your company, please?
Yes, Callis Communications is a alliance member. We focus just on business communications in the Southeast. We do it a little differently, that we own all our network gear from the customer's premise all the way through, and we're the CLEC, so we own all the network end to end, and we make sure as we're going down this route and we go down this path, we're going to continue to push all these applications down to allow our customers to have something they can't get off the shelf today.
Fantastic. Thanks for being on the program today.
Thanks
this was
for your
great.
time, Rich. We appreciate it.
Good luck with the Alliance.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.